As we move to round 10 of the Formula One Championship at Spa, the Belgian Grand Prix, the Mercedes title fight resumes with reliability concerns. Ferrari continue to face questions over their true pace, and speculation remains over Max Verstappen's future. Spa could expose F1's energy deployment problem, and the Belgian weather could turn the weekend upside down. G'day F1 fans, the Belgian Grand Prix, it's a bit of a favourite amongst many Formula One enjoyers. Mick, you were there just a few weeks ago. You think the track is absolutely stunning out in the forest. But I guess the big talking points this weekend, as we just mentioned, the Mercedes reliability issues, Max Verstappen's speculation on his future. But I think the biggest one is potentially around the energy deployment.
I'm over it. It is what it is. Everyone, it's the same for every single driver, whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, don't watch the race. Pretty simple. Like, I'm sick of talking about it. Yes, it's probably going to be very similar to what we saw in Silverstone.
Maybe worse.
Possibly. But like I said, it's the same for every single driver, so it's up to them to figure out how to manage that. For me, the bigger issue is, can Mercedes get on top of these reliability issues? Because they're getting to a point now where they're going to seriously start looking at taking penalties. And when you've got a team like Ferrari, who seem to be relatively bulletproof at the moment, that could really, we're talking about the championship being alive, but that could really throw someone like Lewis Hamilton right back into the mix.
Now, I know we'll go much deeper into it, into the team reviews, but do you think with the way this track is set up, with energy deployment set to be a major factor, long straights, limited heavy braking zones, could Ferrari struggle to manage its electrical energy here? And do you think maybe that would hand an advantage to Mercedes back teams?
Oh, man, you know what? Early on in the season, I would have said 100%. But they said the same thing about Silverstone. Look how good they were there.
Oh, though, to be fair, Kimi Antonelli, he was hunting down Charles.
Yeah, but they were still a lot stronger and a lot closer than what they thought they were going to be. Plus, they are tweaking their aero package. They're getting rid of the blown diffuser, getting rid of the little flap that sits in front of the exhaust. They are stripping the aero. Reports are getting them around 11 kilometres an hour, so they might drag them back a little bit closer to Mercedes. But yes, you're right, with the massive straights, you would have to say if you've got a big turbo in your car, you'll be sitting pretty for sure. I think Mercedes definitely have the advantage if they can keep both cars on the black stuff.
Well, before we get stuck into the team-to-team previews, weather, Belgium, it does go hand in hand. We've seen some absolute stonker races here just because of the changing weather conditions. Possibly they may be on this week. Seems to be just we're going to get the end of the heat wave and temperatures back to around mid-20s, but there is a chance of rain floating around. And we are some way out from the race itself, so this could change quite a lot. Compounds. Now, Pirelli, we're going a little softer this week as opposed to what we had out in Silverstone. So we're going with the C2, C3, C4 compound, and naturally the track is quite hard on tyres. So what do you reckon? Two-stop race?
Well, for the top four teams, I think two-stop is very viable, just because of the gap that they can create over the first 20 laps. That's just that far ahead. The undercut here, man, will be super, super powerful because I think it's only like 18 or 19 seconds, the pit lane lost time. So that definitely opens up an option for a two-stop. And like you said, it is hard on tyres, so a two-stop is definitely a possibility. Whoever wants to be, I guess, the most aggressive on strategy here, yes, a two-stop is possible.
After all that, probably a two-stopper.
Yeah.
But then it'll be completely thrown out. We'll probably get a bit of rain and everything else, and it ends up being 3 or maybe even more.
We got the wet. Was it a wet start last year? It was, eh?
God, all the Spa races in my head, they're all like that, There's just so many moments of rain.
It started behind the safety car, I'm sure it was. I'm sure that was last year.
Possibly.
And then, and then they switched from the inters onto the softs.
Quick one. Have we had any wet weather? We haven't had any wet weather running this year, have we?
No. Remember it rained in Miami in the morning?
Yes. Yeah.
We didn't end up getting the wet race, so very well potentially could get
the first one
wet race. And Bring on the rain, because I think if it does, man, Ferrari, whew, hold on to your seatbelts.
Well, this is the thing. I think it will condense the teams up a little bit more, bring them a little bit more into parity. Let's see what the weather gods give. They can be random as hell, especially in Belgium. Quick little shell of the channel, as we do. We're still just chugging away to 1,000 subs by season's end. So if you have been around for a while and you do like what we produce,
Help the engineers bring the upgrades.
need a few upgrades.
We need a few
So,
upgrades.
of course, big thumbs, like, all that good stuff. Anyway, I think we get started, huh? Teams to team preview, Belgium Grand Prix, and we just have to go by constructors' standings as we do, and that has been pretty much Mercedes, and I think will be for the remainder of the season. So, reliability issues. Kimi Antonelli, he was pretty much on pace to win that race last time out. Let's be honest. The gap that's closed a lot. What is it, like 25 points now between teammates?
Yep.
I still think Kimi is the form driver between the two. He's clearly the faster driver between the two. Upgrades. I don't think we're seeing any big upgrades from Mercedes this week. What have you got?
Their upgrade package is going to come, I think, just after the summer break. Their big package. They are bringing minor tweaks, nothing significant. You're right. Kimi definitely has a pace advantage over Russell at the moment. He just needs to keep doing his thing. But if George can get that gap this week under that 24 points, I tell you what, the pressure does start to shift onto Kimi Antonelli. Right now, I don't think it's panic stations. What is it? Like we said, 25 points, and I think that's still pretty substantial. But if George gets it under that 24, man, then you can start to play those little mind games, and Kimi might start to question himself whether he can get the job done. Mercedes need to keep both cars on the track. They're starting to get to the point of penalties becoming a real issue for their championship. You would probably have to say it's going to affect the Drivers' Championship more than the Constructors at the moment, because they still got a pretty sizable gap there. But I think it's really starting to become a concern, especially for Toto.
But I mean, as far as this weekend, reliability problems aside, I just think they're going to be unbeatable. I think it's pretty much a double lockout, unless some rain comes.
Qualifying, I think they still have a pretty sizable advantage. In terms of the race, I don't think Ferrari's quite out of it. It'll be interesting to see what
you got a lot of optimism for Ferrari, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't have optimism for them for Silverstone. I thought they were going to get spanked with the deployment issues. Look how close they were. Bogdanovic, is that his name?
Yeah, Dino Bogdanovic.
Yeah, so apparently he tested this package in Silverstone, and they found the data to be quite, what's the word?
Reliable.
Yeah, so they knew this race was coming, and they're preparing for it the right way. So that does give me hope that the disadvantage that they had, I think similar to Silverstone, will be a lot smaller than what we anticipate.
Well, mate, I think that segues us perfectly into Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton, clearly on a lot of form, but I think the big talking point was, you could say it was a breakthrough win for Charles Leclerc.
He needed it. And look, this weekend, I think he needs to continue if he can. What I did like about Charles last time out is he got better as the weekend went on. On the other side of the garage, you could say Lewis maybe fell away a little bit. But Charles just needs, again, another weekend like he had, if he can continue that momentum and just keep building that confidence. Because right now, as it stands, Lewis still has the momentum out of the two. Lewis is going for his 8th win here, or his 12th podium, I think it is. So he's good around here. I tell you what, I am optimistic. You said it. And I am just going off what we've seen. The stripping of the aero, man, they seem to be pretty convinced. Plus, there's the updated Macarena wing. It's all about trying to gain some of that straight line speed. I'm very optimistic, but I think Lewis, out of the two, is probably going to be harder to beat here this weekend.
Yeah, it'll be a good one because we've got 2 more races before we head into summer break. the points gap between Lewis and Charles is still pretty large. Lewis on 147 points, Charles on 108. If he can claw back, I think, some of that deficit into summer break, well, I think that sets him up for a good back half of the season. But I do expect Lewis to, he's driving with a lot of, he's carefree at the moment.
Yeah, he's confident, man. He's confident. He's confident in that car. It'd be interesting to see if Leclerc has really unlocked the performance that he's been looking for in that car. They're in the hunt this weekend, eh?
I'm probably not as optimistic as you, but let's see. Let's find out. Let's find out what they've got. All right, McLaren, they're a team that definitely need to pull up their socks sort of in their own league at the moment. You kind of feel like in P3 in the Constructors' Championship. Lando had a pretty decent weekend out at his home race, you could say.
Yes, they're P3 in the Constructors, but at the moment I don't think they're P3. I don't think they're the third best team. At the moment I think they've fallen back a little bit, probably behind Red Bull. Struggling, everywhere with the chassis, the aero side. They're struggling to extract the most out of the power unit. Apparently they're waiting for some reliability upgrades to the power unit. Norris is just, for what he's got, I think he's just doing a good job. Oscar seems to be struggling at the moment with the rear of that car. He's not quite comfortable. For Oscar, it's good that McLaren are struggling, because if they were fighting up the top, there'd be probably a little bit more pressure on Oscar.
Right, on to fourth place, Red Bull. Well, clearly the big story out of Red Bull this week, and it's just purely the speculation around Max Verstappen, but also what are they going to do with their rear wing? Because it seems to be that it's causing issues.
If it's not working for you, you've got to take it off the car. Fix it, develop it more, get it working properly, then put it back on the car. Because, Max has every right to be concerned. Imagine going into Blanchimont, you flick that rear wing close and it doesn't close. Like, you've had some pretty decent offs.
Shunts.
Imagine it going through Blanchimont at flat stick, full battery deployed. You've got the best engine in the back, 340 plus, flick the wing, go to turn in, mate. And being at Spa, the walls, man, are a lot closer than they look on TV. Like, it's not far. Like, it's not far. And you're doing 340 plus, man, that's going to be a big one. Like, that is going to be a big one.
Seen some big ones off there over the years. Some massive ones.
Yeah.
You must play in the back of your mind too. Like, from a confidence point of view.
Yeah, it's confidence. If you don't have the confidence to flick the thing in at 300k an hour because you don't trust the rear wing, well, you're going to lift through there, aren't you? And you're going to lose a bucket load of time.
Now, there haven't been any massive, you could say, announcements yet regarding any big upgrades coming. Doesn't look like there will be. Obviously, it's still pretty early in the week and things can change. But realistically, Red Bull need to start showing some massive improvements. We saw a little bit like out in Austria. Saw like Max was able to be quite competitive. And to be fair, he was on track for a podium out of Silverstone. But pace-wise, it wasn't in the realms of obviously the top two teams.
Compared to Mercedes and Ferrari, yes, they're still lacking. I think they've taken a jump ahead of McLaren at the moment. We definitely know it's not an engine issue. So they can get on top of that chassis, man. I think on Hadjar's side, man, he just needs to keep doing what he's doing. I think he's doing a good job at the moment. Yeah,
he's almost sort of flying under the radar as well, because obviously the speculation around Max and then, all the talk around the performance and the upgrades of the car, now the rear wing, having problems. It almost feels like, he's just floating in the background.
Was it Miami that he had the shocker?
There was one shocker this year. I think it was Miami.
I think it was. Since then, he's sort of found his feet and he's been there or thereabouts with Max. Like,
he's been pretty consistent.
Ultimately the pace isn't the same as Max, but we expect that. But what I do like is generally wherever Max qualifies, Hadjar's been right there behind him or
he's
next to him.
He's not too far away,
In the race, wherever Max is, Hadjar's not too far away. And I think for Red Bull, that's a good thing because they haven't really had that over the last few seasons. They're not having to worry about, the second driver and just relying purely on Max. I think they can rely on Isaac greatly I guess
Yeah.
that's the word I'm looking for. So, but yeah, I mean, Red Bull, man, they got a lot of work to do still.
A lot of work. A lot of work. Well, P5 in the Constructors' Battle is heating up. There's only 1 point at it now. Alpine still leading Racing Bulls by 1 point.
Not for much longer.
Yeah, if you go by recent form over the last few Grand Prix, that's for sure. Now, Alpine, I don't think there's any massive upgrades coming that have been confirmed. It's a bit of a hard one with Alpine because on one hand you go, okay, Mercedes power unit in the back, you think they would probably go pretty decent here. I actually think they will go all right here. Again, speculation is starting to swirl around Colapinto's future, which is quite normal as we come to this point of the year. I think he's doing a pretty decent job overall. Gasly seems to have found a bit of form again.
Yep. Yeah, Gasly's sort of found his feet. Like we said after Canada, he sort of struggled with the upgrades, but he's starting to bounce back. That car has not been as strong since they've bolted those upgrades on, and they've certainly slipped behind Racing Bulls.
They feel like they're becoming quite a circuit-specific team rather than consistently good across different tracks.
Yeah, whereas I think Racing Bulls have been far more consistent. They'll be there, but I think Racing Bulls are definitely going to outperform them. Colapinto, it's a shame we're going to start talking about him again. It's that point of the season, and with all the rumours, with Flavio wanting to bring Alonso back, it kind of tells me that he's still not convinced. Franco's been good. He's been
he's been pretty solid. At least he's brought some consistency this year. He's been able to back up some good weekends. Sometimes he's out-qualified. Pierre had some better performances.
Yeah.
I think he's heading in the right direction. It's just it must weigh heavily once these rumours start circulating around and you've only got a contract to the end of 2026. And now basically the team is saying, well, you're not guaranteed. Your performance have got to justify it, which is, of course, that's what it comes down to for all drivers. But I think that pressure starts to ramp up, and maybe if you start seeing the odd mistake, it can really compound.
Again, he needs just another consistent weekend, needs to be there with Gasly. They will be in with a shout. It'll be definitely between them and Racing Bulls.
Speaking of Racing Bulls, as I mentioned, 1 point behind Alpine, P6 in the Constructors' Championship. They are pretty much becoming best of the rest, especially when you take consistency into it. Over the last few Grand Prix, Lawson has been consistently in the points. I think he actually holds one of the longest streaks of being in the points at the moment for current drivers on the grid. Lindblad's doing a good job as a rookie. When you think about Lindblad, he's not really making any mistakes, like typical rookie mistakes. He's been pretty solid in that aspect. I expect them to be, double points potentially again this weekend. Upgrades-wise, nothing major has been announced. But I think they'll be in for another good weekend.
Yeah, man. Performing beautifully. Look, since Canada, they brought those upgrades. They have done a mega job. They've scored more double point finishes than Red Bull.
Yes.
That tells you a lot. And literally, you could say since Canada, I think minus, was it in Canada where Lindblad didn't actually start the race, did he? Did he get DNS? Was it a DNS or a DNF? I can't remember. But basically, since then, both drivers have been in the 10 every weekend. That's good. Lawson, man, clearly happy with the car. The car's given him confidence to perform. Lindblad's right on his gearbox, which is only pushing Liam and the team, man. And I just think they're doing a mega, 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 mega job this year. They've clearly jumped Alpine, not by a little bit, by a long way. That position in the Constructors is going to flip this weekend. I'm saying certain double points. I'm going to go
jinx them. Don't jinx them.
I'm going 8-7 this weekend.
Don't jinx them. Yeah, no, I definitely expect them to be in the mix. And what I like about them is they're consistent. They come out in FP1, they're looking good. Qualifying, generally they're hitting the Q3s and come race double points. So, definitely excited for their prospects this week. Who I'm not excited for that's poor old Haas. They are going out with a hiss and a whimper, haven't they, over the last few Grand Prix. Upgrades really haven't worked. But Ollie Behrman, of course, we keep talking about it every week. The inter-team battle, Ocon he's fighting for his life over there. But the rumors surrounding Ollie Behrman and
come on, man.
Red Bull, is this
what a joke? This last week it was Piastri. This week it's Ollie. Next week it'll be Lindblad or Colapinto. It'll be someone else.
Ollie does make a bit of sense though, because if you look at Ollie Behrman, his pathway has been Ferrari. He's a Ferrari back driver. But now, since when you look at Ferrari and you go, okay, Charles has got, extended the multi, Hamilton's having, it seems to be the time of his life again in Formula One.
How old is Behrman?
He must be, 22? 21?
So 3
22?
years. So let's say Lewis stays for another 3 years. You'll be 25. Chill, man. Chill, bro. Chill.
He's 21.
Chill.
21.
There you go. Like, relax, bro. You'll be in Ferrari before you're 25. Just relax, man.
I don't know. Formula One, it's hard to relax, man. Opportunities come and go very quickly, and sometimes waiting around is not the best thing.
No, you'd be a fool right now, I think, if you went to jump into that Red Bull. I think Ferrari put you in Haas for a reason. Keep learning. You're still a baby, man. You'll be sweet. But on the other side of the garage, man, the clock is ticking and time is running out. Probably faster than he can drive at the moment. Without the penalties in Monaco, it'd be Canada since they scored their last point. Just I don't know what they got to do, but the upgrades they're bringing aren't correlating to track performance.
Again, speaking of another team that is just underwhelming, that's Williams. P8 in the Constructors' Championship. Pretty disappointing race the last time out. I actually think they're going to massively struggle here. There's no big upgrades that are confirmed for this week. It seems to be that what they term as their B spec car is targeted for potentially Baku.
Yeah.
So after the summer break. So I don't know how that is going to go down with Carlos Sainz. Clearly hot property on the grid, and we know a lot of business as far as driver market moves tends to happen around the summer break, or at least, I guess if you're a driver, you kind of feel that if the car hasn't brought a certain amount of performance by then, you start to go,
well, man,
this ain't looking good.
Carlos will come out and say he's committed, but he's even said it. How long can I wait before I win again? How long am I willing to wait? And I don't think he's willing to wait that long. I think what he's starting to see at Williams is they're so far behind that they're going to struggle to catch up, and then that's going to feed into 2027. Look, apparently they conducted an internal review onto the upgrades they brought to Silverstone because that car is clearly lacking aero balance. They brought some aero upgrades to that car for Silverstone, and they didn't deliver. So that's a worrying sign in itself, is when you bring an upgrade package and it doesn't deliver.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of pressure starting to heap up on James Vowles, because it was such we were praising him last year, the way he was handling the team. He was able to convince Carlos to come across, and we thought that was such a good move. Finally, Williams will have two competitive drivers, because let's face it, no disrespect to the GOAT Latifi and Logan Sargent, but they did struggle. And, the performance was good.
Yeah.
P5, weren't they P5 in the championship in the end? And then the focus into 2026 came really early.
Yeah. The problem is you're trying to take weight out of the car as well as bring upgrades. They managed to get some weight out, but the upgrades that they've brought to bring performance haven't worked for whatever reason. And this is supposedly the bigger internal review that was happening between Silverstone and Spa. Alex Albon, man, is just basically becoming Williams' test driver at the moment.
Yeah, well, he did
literally every
a lot
weekend.
of test driving. Well, there's been multiple weekends where he seems to do 5, 6, 7 pit stops and
it's
data gathering and whatnot. But speaking of Alex, look, he's kind of escaping the beating drums.
Yeah, because of how bad they're doing.
Because I think he's such a likable dude, man. People don't ever want to speak poorly about Alex Albon, but clearly he needs to change his performances around. Can he do it this weekend?
No, man, not in that car. Not in that car.
But I mean, in relation to Carlos. Because really, that's what he needs to do. He needs to beat Carlos. He needs to out-qualify him. He needs to beat him.
Well, that's exactly right. Can he? Don't know. Out of both drivers, he is one that is clearly not comfortable with how that car operates. His driving style supposedly is not suiting the way that car needs to be driven. And you're right, he's escaping the beating drums because the car is so poor. There's probably more pressure, like you said, on James Vowles and the team to deliver a car that he can drive and compete on a weekly basis with Carlos, because at the moment Carlos is the man getting the job done. But they're going to be nowhere again this weekend, man. It's going to be same old story. It'll be rinse and repeat of Silverstone.
All right, Audi. Now, Audi is a team, P9 in the constructors, 6 points, but I think they're much better than that as far as pace. Plenty of reliability issues to get over. Hulkenberg had a reliability issue last time out. Gabby was able to pick up some points. Look, it was scraps. It was fortuitous because of some drivers ahead having issues.
But that's why you need both cars on the track, right? Fix your reliability issues. Like the talk is, man, that they have got they're saying they've got the third best chassis on the grid. They're close enough to capitalise on the misfortunes of others around them. It's just that they never have two cars there to maximise on that misfortune, right?
Even on some tracks, 1 lap pace, they're just outside the 10.
Yeah,
they're not too far away.
They're constantly just sitting on the outside looking in. They're super close. I think that was their first point since Melbourne. We can give them a little bit of leeway because it is a whole new setup, but when you think about it, they could be not too far off Racing Bulls if they had better reliability.
For me, when you look at the struggling teams, if you go, say, from Williams down, so Williams, Audi, 2 perennial back markers, they're the team that I have the most optimism around.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
To be like the best improvers or the most improved by the time we get to maybe even season's end this year.
Yeah. Well, you think by the end of the regulations, man, I reckon they'll be stronger than Aston Martin, going to be stronger than Williams, stronger than Haas. And realistically, they should be stronger than Alpine and Racing Bulls, given it's a factory outfit. Bernardo came out this week and said, because we were always saying they said it was a 5-year project. He's now saying 2030 he wants to be fighting for the championship. That's how confident he is in the package. They just got to get on top of that reliability.
Yep. I think one to look out for. Or
get Sainz in that car.
He's just talking a big game up to maybe Peel Sainz or even the rumours of Max Verstappen, but let's not go there. A place where I don't really want to go, but we have to go, and that is Aston Martin. Nothing has come in until Hungary. We were excited for a while that we thought this big upgrade package was going to come this coming weekend. It's not. Move on.
Well,
realistically, I mean, there's not much more to say. It's going to be a miserable race weekend for Aston Martin.
Well, that's it, right? It's just get through this weekend, understand what you've got. So when you bring your supposed AMR 26.2, that is supposedly worth 2.5 to 3 seconds. Now, whether the Aston Martin has actually stated that, if they did, that's
bonkers.
Stupid.
And if they don't deliver it.
If they don't deliver it, like that 2.5 seconds turns into 2.5 tenths. Yeah, just get through this weekend. Both cars finish the race, and I think, you can literally go to Hungary and pray to the Formula One gods that Adrian Newey has been able to deliver a miracle.
All right, Cadillac. The only team on 0 points, but all is forgiven. They are new. They are going through a lot of teething problems. But look, I think on the surface of it, if you look at their trajectory from Melbourne to now, it's been all right. Yeah. It hasn't been that bad. They bought some upgrades, seem to be bringing a little bit of performance to the car. We didn't see, they didn't blow up in Silverstone, did they?
Nope. That's
no brake blow-ups. No.
The only thing that was fire was their livery.
Yes. Keep it.
So keep that for sure going forward. But yeah, they got on top of those brake issues, man. In Silverstone, they were quicker than Aston. They were fighting with Haas. The performance is there. Yes, it's on the bottom end of the midfield, but again, it's still new. It's only 10 rounds old.
Yeah, exactly. Still super early days.
Yeah. they're on the up, man. They just keep learning, trust the process. They'll get there and move on.
Well, that's it, right? All teams previewed. Again, this is very early. I think a lot of changes will come during the week. We'll hear about more upgrades. Potentially, what do you reckon? Maybe some FP1 rookies might come in. Do you reckon they'll do it here at Spa?
Ooh.
I would say a lot will use...
I reckon Hungary. You'd probably see more in Hungary, I reckon.
Yeah, and I think some will say for Monza.
Yeah.
Those sort of tracks. We'll see. There'll be announcements, I'm sure, made.
Yeah, but the upgrades will definitely... We'll start to see who's bringing what a little bit more, probably closer to Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, speaking of upgrades, we do need an upgrade for our predictions because they are pretty horrible.
Yeah.
We can just jump straight into it, mate. And it's so much easier when we don't have a sprint race weekend.
Yeah.
For me, this is almost like no-brainer here. Who have you got for pole? Who have you got for your podium? Throw it out there.
My pole, I think the pace advantage of Kimi Antonelli is going to continue. So he'll have pole. My podium is going to be Kimi Antonelli. Hamilton's going to split the Mercedes. And Russell's
that
going to come
optimism?
third. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Sorry, who was third?
Russell.
Russell, okay.
Yeah.
So a Mercedes sandwich. Yeah, look, I can't go past Kimi Antonelli for pole.
He's just got a massive... it's not... On paper, it's not massive, but it's significant.
He's just driving with heaps of confidence, mate. Just a ton of confidence. As far as podium, I just feel we're going to get a Mercedes 1-2 in Kimi's favour, Russell second, and in third... Yeah, third's a hard one. It's a really hard one because I just have a feeling Ferrari aren't going to be as competitive. Oh, mate, I'm just going to go with Lewis. Lewis for third, even though I just wrote off Ferrari just then. And that's how I love our predictions go. They really don't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What have I got? It's an A5 lead in my favour, I believe it is, off the top of my head. 3 points in it. We'll see how we go.
I think you need to start putting these scores up on the screen because every time we talk, it's like 4, 5, 8. I can't even remember.
I think I need to bring up some proper overlays and bring a more professional.
I'm like, this gap's getting bigger and bigger, man. I'm like, hey.
But how about who's your surprise for the weekend? Who's going to be a disappointment? It could be a team, could be a driver.
Surprise. I don't think it's going to be a surprise. I think Lawson's going to have another banger. My disappointment. Oh.
Don't say Ocon. Don't say Albon.
Well, that's all I've got, really. Yeah, when you look at who's there, well, Alonso and Stroll are going to have ordinary weekends. Bottas and Perez are going to have ordinary weekends. I want Hulkenberg to have some luck and keep the thing on the black stuff. I think Bortoletto's doing all right, and if they can keep the car on the track, they're going to be sniffing around that 10. So it only leaves Ocon, Colapinto, Ocon. I've got nothing. It's going to be Ocon, man. It has to be.
Poor Esteban. Poor Esteban.
Well, look,
it is hard to say. Well, what if you look at it like this? If we're looking at the top 10, which seems to be pretty clear, you've got your 4 main teams. Looks like Racing Bull's the best of the rest. Take away reliability issues, that pretty much locks down the top 10. Who's your smoky for a top 10? Like, who do you think has got the best chance to perhaps pick up the scraps or maybe fight the Racing Bulls?
Audi.
Do you think it's going to be one of the Audi drivers?
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of the Audi
Gabby
boys.
Or Hulky?
Yeah.
Well, I hope Hulkenberg can pick up a point.
Yeah.
He's still on the donut, and he doesn't deserve to be.
And that's the thing, man. There's been
plenty of times he's been in the mix.
You would have to say he's been better than Bortoletto so far this season.
Yeah, I would say more consistent. Yeah. More consistent pace.
It's just whenever he's in the hunt to score a point, the thing breaks down.
Or he gets taken out by a rogue rock flicked up from Lawson that turns the car off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, look, I can't really go past Audi. I think Audi might be the smoky here. Alpine, of course you can't go past Gasly sniffing in the top 10. I think as far as maybe a disappointing weekend, I've just got a feeling it might be Franco. I think it might be Franco Colapinto.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see how things go. If the weather does come and we do get a bit of rain over the course of the weekend, I think that can definitely throw a lot more opportunity into many teams' way. Many teams. Well, I think that'll wrap it up. Let's just wrap it up, mate. Give you the final thought. I'm looking forward to this weekend because Spa is one of my favorite tracks. I'm pretty sure it ranks highly on many people's track list of excitement.
It is definitely one
to look forward to.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely one of the best circuits on the Formula One calendar. A lot of history there, but will reliability strike Mercedes down once again? I think Ferrari have the pace this weekend, and Ocon, I think your time is coming to an end in Formula One, my son. But it is only round 10. It feels like we've already gone so long. We're so deep into the season, but we're not, and there's still plenty to play for. Can George Russell get that gap under 24 points? Because if he does, I think the pressure starts to ramp up on Kimi Antonelli, and the championship becomes completely different. Also, make sure you join us on Saturday for our qualifying watch-along. We do one, a live watch-along. If you're interested in listening to Jared's expert commentary, and I offer my expert opinion alongside. But yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. We really do appreciate it. So until then, we will catch you in the next one.
Catch up.